Grand Rising. Welcome back to the Concerned Citizens podcast. We are your host. I am the Lurker, and we have Godmomma. Ooh-wee.
Rich Rice. Today we are back with the DNC Day 3 review. Today, Thursday, today is supposed to be the last day for this Democratic convention. So we're going to see if what they put on last night, is this going to be enough for the Democrats to pull this victory that they need or want so desperately? So please hit the like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and we will be right back.
We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't trust nobody, grip the trigger. Call up the gang and they come and get gang. Cry me a river, give you a tissue. Raindrop, drop top, smoking no cooking the hot bar. Raindrop, drop top, smoking no cooking the hot bar. Raindrop, drop top, smoking no cooking the hot bar. Raindrop, drop top, smoking no cooking the hot bar. Raindrop, drop top. Bad and bush, bad and bush, bad and bush, bad and bush. Raindrop, drop top. Bad and bush, bad and bush.
Bad and bougie. Bad and bougie. That's kind of my vibe today. If I was a bad bee, okay. Oh, all right, y'all. So we're going to go back. I have not watched any of this. Godmomma watched a little bit and got us some timestamps, but I haven't watched any of this. And boy, did they. I know you said today was or last night. No, today's their actual, right?
Right.
Yesterday was night 3. So then today's their finale.
Mm-hmm.
Child. Well, let's see what we missed yesterday, Godmomma. I heard they had them a time.
Baby, the times I kept jumping in and out, they was turned. So I want to know what the grand finale finna look like, because baby, day 1, 2 at the appetizers. Okay, the appetizers have been appetizing. I'll just say that.
Oh, they had Stevie Wonder.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
they had
my
Stevie Wonder.
Gosh,
and
Stevie Wonder.
And I wish he would have came out here singing "Very Superstitious,"
riding on the wall.
But he didn't, so I had to click off because I was like, how disappointing. How disappointing.
Wow, Stevie Wonder. Ain't that something? Boy, they got them. No wonder. Never mind. I was going to say, no wonder Trump had him bring out people like Kid Rock and shit.
Somebody in the crowd had to be petty and say, oh, the blind leading the blind. I get it. I said, what?
Okay. The blind leading the blind. Poor Stevie. Don't let him do it. You ain't got to be the mascot, Stevie. Don't they paid you, Stevie? How much they pay you?
Right. They had to pay Stevie.
Let Dr. Umar Rahumba Pan-African King tell it, or Prince. He's the Prince, right? Pan-African Prince.
Yeah.
Let him tell it. The DNC was going to pay him $10,000 to come speak. Child.
No,
girl. You be taking from the rest of us, you better go take it from Kamala too. I don't want to hear it, Dr. Umar.
Right.
You've been begging us for years to get 10K. You better get in and get that school together, sir.
Right. So, get up there and talk like Bernie Sanders did. Shit. We need this and we need, hell. Rich Rise to the chat. Rich Rise to the chat.
Hey y'all. Come on and hit this up. All right. So this ain't nobody of importance, but we're going to play it anyways. It's queued up a little bit behind, but let's just get in where we get in.
Because it might be Wednesday night and we might be in Chicago, but it's starting to feel like something I've wanted to say my whole life. Live from New York, it's Saturday night. Please welcome Kenan Thompson.
Nikki, that was the former, right here it says, the former, that's the New Jersey Senator, that's Cory Booker. That's who that bowling ball is. But here he is introducing Kenan, talking about this time I've always wanted to do.
All right. What's up, DNC? All right. Y'all remember this big old book from before? When Colorado Governor Jerry Polis ripped the page out of it? This is Project 2025, the Republican blueprint for a second Trump term. It is boo. It is a real document that you can read for yourself at kamalaharris.com/Project 2025. You ever seen a document that could kill a small animal and democracy at the same time? Here it is. You know how when you download an app and there are hundreds of pages there that you don't read, it's just the terms and conditions, and you just click agree, right? Well, these are the terms and conditions of a second Trump presidency. You vote for him, you vote for all of this. Let's take a look. All right, we got Matt here with us tonight. Is Matt here? Hey, there he is. Matt, how are you, sir? All right, Matt. Now, Matt, I understand that you work as an AV tech in Nevada, and you make a decent hourly wage. Is that right? Oh, I don't know if we can hear Matt. Can we hear Matt? So who's gonna fix it? Keep speaking, Matt, so we can hear you. Okay, that's good. I guess we're gonna move on from Matt. And this is Becky. Becky, can we hear you?
Hi, Kenan. It's great to be here.
Thank you. All right, good. Now, Becky, you're married, correct?
I am. Me and my wife have been together for about 8 years.
Oh, that's amazing. Very, very cute.
Thanks.
But I have got some bad news for you.
I hate that.
On page 584, Project 2025 calls for the elimination of protections for LGBTQ plus Americans. So yeah, right back to the Stone Age. I'm afraid so.
Right back to the Stone Age. That's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Becky, for being here and making that wonderful point. All right, next up, we have Nirvana. Nirvana, are you with us? And your people are with us as well? All right, good. Now, Nirvana, I understand that you are on insulin to manage your diabetes, yes?
Yes, and thanks to President Biden and Vice President Harris, I only pay $35 a month for my insulin.
That is great. That is great. But on page 465, Project 2025 calls for millions of people like yourself to pay more for prescription drugs like insulin.
Why?
Why? Well, I guess maybe to help Big Pharma make more money that they can donate to Republican politicians, I assume.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, unfortunately, it does make sense. All right, let's talk to Anita. Anita, are you there? Yes. Hello, Anita.
Hello.
And Anita, what do you do for a living?
I'm an OBGYN who delivers babies and does surgery.
An OBGYN. She is an OBGYN that delivers babies. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yeah, it's bad news, isn't it?
It sure is. On page 459, Project 2025 resurrects a law from the 1800s called the Comstock Act to ban abortion nationwide and throw healthcare providers in jail.
Oh my God, that is awful.
Yes, it is awful. All right, let's do one more. Is Sharia with us? Sharia, are you there?
Hey, Kenan, I'm here.
Yes, Sharia, I love it. All right, let's talk to you. I understand that you work for the federal government?
Yes, sir. I'm in the United States Department of Education. I'm a proud civil servant and proud union president.
She works for the Department of Education and she's a proud civil servant. Well, unfortunately for you, on page 78, Project 2025 calls for President Trump to purge the civil service of everyone who isn't a MAGA loyalist. Are you a MAGA loyalist?
Now, King.
Grand Rising. Thank you, Baba.
Absolutely not.
Rising.
I'm just asking. I mean, you might well be, because also Page 319 calls for the complete elimination of the Department of Education. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here, but that's all we have time for at the moment. Just remember, everything that we just talked about is very real. It is in this book. You can read it online at KamalaHarris.com/Project 2025. And most importantly, you can stop it from ever happening by electing Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States.
Whew. All right, y'all. We're going to skip on over because after that, they had, some more celebrities come out and talk. But let's get into why I really wanted to see. We wanted to see him yesterday, but he did not come through. He came in tonight. So, come on, Nikki. Come on, Nikki.
I think to me, the whole DNC, the 2025, what Keenan just did there was probably the most effective thing they've done thus far. Breaking it down with the people, telling who it's going to affect and what it.
Yes.
Instead of just making it this big scary boogeyman, putting faces to who it would affect and who it wouldn't. Because a lot of people, we talked about it when you did the review. A lot of people aren't going to read it for themselves. They're going to, they just need it broken down for them. So that's why I titled this, Is This Going to Be Enough for the Democrats to win? Because I think someone has a count. They've said Trump's name more times than they've actually said anything about policies. But I think 2025 is that big monster that they're attacking. And in my opinion, they're doing a pretty good job. Because Keenan is my generation, right? He's all that. It's Keenan and Kel. Now he's Saturday Night Live. Rich Rise Rob. So he's a palatable to the people. He can make a monster seem funny. So I think this was a good win for them.
I do too, and that youth appeal. Right? Because all of, like you said, he's our generation. You guys are, a couple years younger than I am. However, I grew up on Nickelodeon as well. Good Burger, yes, all that. They even made their little movie, right?
Right.
We're all older now. We're the adults now, right? So even though we are the younger kind of millennial generation, we all work in these fields, or not all these fields, but or we can relate to someone who is, or we watched our parents work in these fields. So that was wonderful. That was a full swing right there.
Yeah.
That was a full swing home run. So bases were loaded and they're knocking it out the park. All right, let's listen to this gentleman here, our former Vice President, Mr. Bill Clinton. And let's see what he has to say on this Day 3 convention, y'all. Interesting. Let me get this pulled up for y'all. Come on.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Whoa. Let me ask you something. After the last 2 days, aren't you proud to be a Democrat? And I am very grateful to the Republicans and independents that have joined us, have been up here on the stage. And I hope they feel better about it now. Because I've seen all these things that even I have to be reminded of from time to time when I get my spirits down. I love seeing the Obamas here. I love seeing President Biden. And I thought Hillary gave a great speech too. And I love seeing all these young leaders. A bunch of them are coming up after me. They look better, they sound better, and they'll be exciting. I do want to say one word about President Biden. Remember, he had an improbable turn that made him president. And we were in the middle of a pandemic and an economic crash.
My bad.
He healed our sick and put the rest of us back to work. And he strengthened our alliances for peace and security. He stood up for Ukraine. He's trying desperately to get a ceasefire in the Middle East. And then he did something that's really hard for a politician to do. He voluntarily gave up political power. And George Washington knew that, and he did it. And he set the standard for us serving 2 terms before it was mandatory. It helped his legacy, and it will enhance Joe Biden's legacy. And it's a stark contrast to what goes on in the other party. So I want to thank him for his courage, compassion, his class, his service.
I'm sorry. I have to say something to y'all real quick. For the last 16 years, minus 4, right? So for the last 12 years out of 16, we've been under Democrats.
Amen.
Let's just keep this in mind while they up bigging each other up. Well, oh, the Obamas, and oh, you know, my wife and Biden, and he voluntarily gave up his presidential seat. They had to kick him out. Nancy Pelosi was saying, get out or lay down, okay? He didn't voluntarily give up anything. Y'all are, okay, but anyways, back to y'all, because y'all not going to color me stupid like I said.
It's a sacrifice. Joe Biden. Thank you. And he kept the faith, and he's infected a lot of the rest. Yeah. Now let's cut to the chase. I am too old to kill the lily. 2 days ago, I turned 78, the oldest man in my family of 4 generations. And the only personal vanity I want to assert is I'm still younger than Donald Trump. Last night, in what I thought was a very moving series of episodes, we nominated Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And just think about that. 2 leaders with all-American but still improbable life stories. It could only happen here. Their careers, after all, started in community courtrooms and classrooms. 2 leaders who spent a lifetime getting a good job done. Now, one of the things that I've noticed over my increasingly long life is that a presidential election is unique in several ways. First of all, it's the greatest job interview for the greatest job in the world. Secondly, the Constitution says we, the people, get to do the hiring.
Does it?
And the third thing is that every 4 years, we get to change the requirements for the job. So here's what I'm thinking, because I try to apply this in every election. Will this president
listen
backward or forward? Will this president give our kids a brighter future? Depends. Will this president bring us together or tear us apart? Will the president increase the peace, security, and stability and freedom that we enjoy and extend it to others as we can? We, the people, we have to make a decision about these kind of questions. And every 4 years, it's a little different because the people come at the candidates, and they say, as they're saying now, here are our problems, solve them. Here are our opportunities, seize them. Here are our fears, ease them. Here are our dreams, help them come true.
Bill spitting some bars right there.
A president can answer that call by saying, I'll do my part, but you have to help me. We have to work together. Or you can dodge what needs to be done by dividing, distracting, and diverting us. So in 2024, we got a pretty clear choice, it seems to me. Kamala Harris for the people. And The other guy who's proved even more than the first go around that he's about me, myself, and I. I know which one I like better for our country. Kamala Harris will work to solve our problems, seize our opportunities, ease our fears, and make sure every single American, however they vote, has a chance to chase their dreams. You know, when she was young, she worked at McDonald's, and she greeted every person with that 1,000-watt smile and said, "How can I help you?" Now she's at the pinnacle of power, and she's still asking, "How can I help you?" I'll be so happy when she actually enters the White House as president, because she will break my record as the president who spent the most time at McDonald's.
What the fuck?
Now, but we got an election to win. And remember, we've got a guy that's pretty good at what he does. Donald Trump has been a paragon of consistency. He's still dividing, he's still blaming, he's still belittling other people. He creates chaos, and then he sort of curates it as if it were precious art. Let me say, not a single day goes by, even though I've been gone for well over 23 years from the White House, not a day goes by that I don't thank the Lord for the chance I had to serve and what it meant.
While you was getting sloppy toppy
One of the reasons,
behind the desk.
thank you.
Hurt. Thank God for that job.
One of the reasons I love the job so much is that in the toughest times, even on the darkest days, if you tried hard enough, there was always something good you could do for somebody else. Now, some days that's not easy to do. You've got to deal with all these emergencies, or there's something going on here, there, or yonder. But Kamala Harris is the only candidate in this race who has the vision, the experience, the temperament, the will, and yes, the sheer joy to get something done. I mean, look, what does her opponent do with his voice? He mostly talks about himself, right? So the next time you hear him, don't count the lies, count the eyes. Count the eyes. His vendettas, his vengeance, his complaints, his conspiracies. He's like one of those tenors opening up before he walks out on stage, like I did, trying to get his lungs open by singing me, 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 me. When Kamala Harris is president, every day will begin with you, 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 you. So, we got to ask ourselves the questions if we're going to hire a president. Do you want to build a strong economy from the bottom up and the middle out? Or do you want to spend the next 4 years talking about crowd size? You're going to have a hard time believing this, but so help me, I triple checked it. Since the end of the Cold War in 1989, America has created about 51 million new jobs. I swear I checked this 3 times. Even I couldn't believe it. What's the score? Democrats 50, Republicans 1.
Baby, the Cold War was so long ago. But okay, go off, Bill.
You said what, Godmomma?
I said the Cold War was so long ago. But go off, Bill. Because they just dropped a stat this rising that the Democrats miscounted 818K jobs. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about the Cold War, sir. I was not even alive in the Cold War. Okay? I'm sorry. But
They're trying to prepare us for the next
another
one.
one. That's what he's telling. Like Nikki said earlier, I hear what you're saying, whether you say it or not, right? And what you're telling me is the people yesterday told us to stop complaining, stop crying, be okay with the crumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Bill is coming here telling us today that the Cold War, we did a lot after the Cold War. Like, okay. That's why I told you. I said I liked Bill's speech, but it wasn't for. It was for certain reasons because you got to listen.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Nikki. So that's why I wanted to put that little disclaimer out there. Just be mindful when they're patting their boxes and they're, talking about all the horrible things that Donald Trump has done in his 4 years of office. Well, what the fuck? Those 4 years transcend y'all's 12?
Right.
He was that bad? Child,
Right.
news to me.
Mm.
News to me. And another thing, I know Nikki said we decide who's qualifying, so our requirements change. But when we try to push for change, we get shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the requirement, the requirements that we're having is be a fucking Democrat and let us have our way. No, we need some new requirements, okay? Because y'all ain't really been giving it to us like we need it. Like as far as the country goes, we always say these things. Choose the one of the lesser evils. No, I won't go for that because my lesser evil might be someone else's greatest evil.
Right.
So I can't do it.
And I am currently working on some merch. Hashtag vote no one 2024. Be on the lookout for that. Vote hashtag vote no one 2024. Period.
You don't get my vote. Not like this. You don't.
Not like this.
You don't. Mm-mm. So come on, Bill. Tell us some more, please.
I'm glad that we've got a championship winning coach on our team. But even the most limited of us and what we know about football or any other sport knows that if you're got 50 and the other side's got 1, you're ahead. What about affordable housing? It's a terrible problem in America now. We need more. And affordable health care. That's why the Democrats put a limit on monthly payments for insulin and a $2,000 a year out-of-pocket limit. And are trying to cover more drugs by bargaining for prices. We need more financing for small businesses. We need still to strengthen our alliances. I almost croaked in the first debate of this election season when President Trump said nobody respected America anymore like they did when he was president. Wait. And with a straight face. Look, you got to get him. He's a good actor. With a straight face, he cited as evidence of the respect that existed for us when he was there, the presidents of North Korea and Russia.
Oh, shit.
I'd rather have the people who respect us now. And one of the things...
And who is that?
I'm wondering.
One of the things is when you send a signal to the other countries, you want them to know whether they agree with you or not, at least that you're on the level. Here's where you are and what you believe. What are they supposed to make to these endless tributes to the late, great Hannibal Lecter? I mean, President Obama once gave me the great honor of saying I was the explainer-in-chief. Folks, I thought about it, and I don't know what to say. Like Hakeem Jeffries, I too want an America that's more joyful, more inclusive, more future-focused. Just think what a burden it's been on us to get up day after day after day after day, buried in meaningless hot rhetoric, when there's so many opportunities out there, so many problems that need to be solved. I want that. And that's the America Kamala Harris will lead. And she's already made her first presidential decision, and she knocked it out of the park when she asked Governor Tim Walz to be her nominee for vice president. As they used to say when I was a young man growing up in Arkansas, you do not have to be all broke out with brilliance You just look at Tim Walz, listen to him, follow his record as a teacher, as a coach in the National Guard, as a congressman, where he was the only Democrat, save one, elected in that district in more than 100 years. And he stayed a long time. And then he became a great governor. And by all accounts, he was a crack shot who had the courage among his rural constituents to say, we do not need these assault weapons available to people who can kill our kids in school. So, armed with her first decision, Kamala Harris confronts an interesting dilemma. We're going to walk out of here feeling pretty good, I think. We've got energy, we are happy, we feel like a load's off our shoulders. And we know we're just being asked to fight the same fight that the forces of progress have had to fight for 250 years. In the face of stiff and often violent opposition, we have to find a way to go forward together, where we the people make our union more perfect. So that's a good thing. How could we possibly lose? Kamala Harris has fought for kids her whole life that were left out and left behind. She's taken on gangs trafficking across the border. She's fought to protect the rights of homeowners. She's been our leader in the fight for reproductive freedoms, and we know a majority of the American people are with us on that. And she's gained an invaluable amount of experience as vice president, advancing our values and interests around the world. She's already said she's going to work really hard to make sure that no American working full-time lives in poverty or has to worry about their children living in poverty.
Why are you not doing?
She says that we got to make home ownership an achievable dream for everyone, not just a privilege.
Again, y'all have had it for the last 12 out of 16. Oh, y'all have had it. Y'all have had it. Okay? You tell us. Tell us, please.
She said that and this meant a lot to me, that she would protect everybody's right to vote, whether or not they voted for her. They were citizens and they deserve the right to vote. The other day, her opponent implied that if his people voted one more time, they'd be able to rig it from now on and they wouldn't have to vote again. You think they're kidding, but I know a lot of these folks. And most of them
He
are
was
really
on
good
Epstein
people.
Island.
But some of them think that they are bound to dominate America politically, economically, and socially, and they have to use politics to do it, and they should rig the system. I don't believe that. And so here's what I want to tell you. We've seen more than one election slip away from us when we thought it couldn't happen.
Your wife?
When people got distracted by phony issues.
Phony?
Or overconfident. This is a brutal, tough business. I want you to be happy. One of the reasons that President-to-be Harris is doing so well is that we're all so happy. But you should never underestimate your adversary. And these people are really good at distracting us, at triggering doubt, at triggering buyer's remorse.
Buyer's remorse.
As the Obama said so eloquently last night, they are human, you know. They're bound to make a mistake now and then. We got to be tough. And so, as somebody who spends a lot of time in small towns and rural areas in New York and Arkansas and other places, I urge you to talk to all your neighbors. I urge you to meet people where they are. I urge you not to demean them, but not to pretend you don't disagree with them if you do. Treat them with respect, just the way you'd like them to treat you. Ask for their help and then follow our leader, Kamala, and ask them, how can I help you? We Democrats right now have a lot of hay in the barn. We've got massive achievements, massive advances, but there's still a lot of slips between today and election day that we have to navigate. And so I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. I have no idea how many more of these I'll be able to come to. I started in 76, and I've been to every one since. But no, 72. Lord, I'm getting old. But here's what I want you to know.
Hey, Dougie Fresh.
If you vote for this team,
Rich
if you can get
Rise.
them elected and let them bring in this breath of fresh air, you will be proud of it for the rest of your life. Your children will be proud of it. Your grandchildren will be proud of it.
A breath of fresh air. These two motherfuckers get in politics. Oh my God.
Take it from a man who once had the honor to be called in this convention, a man from hope. We need Kamala Harris, the president of joy, to lead us.
Okay.
So, I'll be doing my part, you do yours. I'll see you when we're making a real joyful noise when the votes are counted. God bless you, and God bless America.
Okay. Oh, child.
Mhm. God bless America. You know, and I always want to ask, like, who's God? Which God? What God are you asking to bless us? Okay. Because in my 36 years of living, I understand that not everyone believes in the same God.
Mhm.
So which God is it that you keep asking to bless us?
The God of Israel.
The God
Or
of
is it the God
Israel.
of Hindu? The Hindu people have a, let me stop. Nope. They ain't gonna do it.
Mhm.
Don't disrespect nobody. They got a bunch of gods over there, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know, Godmomma, but who coming up next? It's this Pelosi lady, right?
Yes, Miss Nancy
And she's the
Pelosi.
one that kicked Biden out.
Correct.
So I'm excited to hear this. She
They
the one that
and
told Biden step down before you know what we do over here as Democrats.
right, right.
Ask Hillary about it.
And it's interesting how they keep, and thank you, Joe, for stepping down willingly. Like, why y'all have to keep saying it because you know it's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Mm.
keep spoon feeding, force feeding me that he willingly stepped down because it is a lie. That man would have been right there swinging with Trump at that damn September debate.
Court. Mm-hmm.
He would have been there. Whether win, lose, or draw, Joe Biden would have been right there. It was also interesting to me how Bill tried to skate over his wife's little expose as felonious and phony and
I didn't know which scandal he was talking about. She done been caught up in so many. Which one?
which one, Bill? Which one? We thought we had the win. No, you knew you didn't have that win, sir. You knew you didn't have that win.
Child. Oh, there's Pelosi. Oops. I'll rewind it a little bit. She probably ain't said too much yet.
No, she ain't. Her old ass.
Everybody's still hollering.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hello, California.
Hello. She thought she was in California, girl.
oh, she wearing purple too. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you.
What did I tell you about these purple and these pearls?
Hello, Democrats. On January 20th, 2021, with the inauguration of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, we established one of the most successful presidencies of modern times. And we quickly proved that Democrats deliver. Millions of jobs, stronger infrastructure and rural broadband, a Biden child tax credit, rescuing human pensions, honoring our veterans, bold climate action, lowering the cost of prescription drugs, all thanks to President Biden's patriotic vision of a fair America, doing so with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Joe. And I know that Vice President Harris is ready to take us to new heights. I've known Kamala Harris for decades. Personally, I know her a person of deep faith, which is reflected in her community care and service. Officially, she is a leader of strength and wisdom and eloquence on policy, most recently demonstrated fighting for women's right to choose. Politically, she is astute and strategic in winning difficult elections, quickly securing the nomination with dignity and grace, and choosing Tim Walz as our vice president. I had the honor of serving with Tim for 12 years in the Congress. He united Democrats, Republicans, and independents to turn a red district blue. He showed courage when he came to Congress in voting for the Affordable Care Act, meeting the needs of his constituents despite Republicans' lies and misrepresentation. When he went home, won the election, he returned to Congress. He fought for our Americans' heroes as the Democratic leader of the Veterans Affairs Committee. Thank you, Tim. January 6th was a perilous moment for our democracy. Never before had a president of the United States so brazenly assaulted the bedrock of our democracy, so gleefully embraced political violence, so willfully betrayed his oath of office. Let us not forget who assaulted democracy on January 6th. He did. But let us not forget who saved democracy that day. We did. And thank God we had a Democratic House of...
Oh, I'm on mute. My bad. So wait, Donald Trump solely gets the blame for January 6th, but Democrats as a whole get the praise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure. Interesting.
Oh, I
Representative.
didn't give you, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the timestamp of that, but they did a whole presentation last
I
night for the January 6th. They brought
I
out
saw it. It's back here,
officers and
Godmomma. It's
uh
I have it. It's here right before.
yep.
Okay, that was
They did,
before
yeah.
Bill came out. They did a
Mm-hmm.
little woo here. Okay, so I was going to get to that, and I was also going to pull up what our good sis Nikki gave us as well, the debunking. So when we're
Mm-hmm.
finished with this, I was going to run that back and kind of touch on the Project 2025 with the January 6th.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Then.
Please hit the like.
We returned to the Capitol that very same night. We insisted on certifying the election results on the floors of the House and the Senate. And we demonstrated to America and to the world that American democracy prevailed. The parable of January 6th reminds us that our democracy is only as strong as the courage and commitment of those entrusted with its care. And we must choose leaders who believe in free and fair elections, who respect the peaceful transfer of power. The choice couldn't be clearer. Those leaders are Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. When the sun rose on January 7th, as our national anthem declares, we gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Now, in this election, we are called upon to do the same, to stand together, to reject autocracy, to choose democracy, and we will do so by electing a Democratic House with Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House, electing a Democratic Senate, electing Tim Walz as Vice President of the United States, and electing Kamala Harris as the President of the United States. Onward to victory!
Onward to victory. Pelosi kept it short and sweet, period. She didn't get too nasty with it, but I think she could have gave a little more, considering she's been there for the longest time. I think that is no, that's not it. Been there for the longest time. She's the one who asked, like Lurk said earlier, asked Joe Biden to politely or impolitely step down. You know, and at one point, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at one point, Pelosi said that January 6th was her fault at one point. It's been a while, but I felt like she was addressing saying, this was her fault and she should have done better at taking the threat seriously and not just thinking, that he was joking or or that what he was saying wouldn't hold weight with people. And like we said yesterday, if you guys missed that recap, give it a replay. That was we kept trying to figure out, why do they think that that was the scariest moment? And it was because the people had the most power that day.
Godmomma, I found it. You're right. Somebody posted it. Oh, shit. Somebody posted the Pelosi taking responsibility for the breakdown of security.
Mhm.
Oh, we've got that. Okay, we can cue that up real quick if you want.
Sure.
Because we have Oprah coming up next. Child, and I said what I said about Oprah earlier, and I'll keep that reserved. Because like you said, we're all trying to keep it somewhat unbiased over here. But hold on, y'all. I this is news to me. See, this is why I enjoy having Godmomma as a co-host. Okay. Period.
Because
She
we
don't
try
put
to
me
keep
on game.
right, we try to keep it unbiased, but we also have to fact check, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We can't just be like, "Oh yeah, that's what they said, so that's correct." No, that's not how that works. Um,
Right.
that's
Oh,
why
we're
we
gonna
wanna give you
fact
guys
check.
both sides.
That's right. We are gonna fact check as best as we can, but we encourage y'all to do the same.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I see Robin Dickey getting it. Hey y'all. Thank you for keeping it polite. Okay, let's listen to Nancy take blame. Nancy, no, you didn't.
Newly released, never before seen footage from January 6th appears to give more context to the security breakdown.
We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have.
The
Oh, I
House
remember
GOP
that.
obtaining the video of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi speaking with her chief of staff as she evacuated the Capitol that day. Pelosi heard blaming herself for not having the National Guard on hand to stop the mob.
Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with? I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
The video
Woo!
shot by Pelosi's daughter,
Oh, by her daughter.
Alexandra Pelosi, for an HBO documentary. Pelosi telling MSNBC the video is Republicans' attempt to rewrite history.
The former
What?
president and his toadies do not want to face the facts. They're trying to do revisionist history on January 6th.
Republicans arguing this upends
sounds like
Democrats'
you're
claims
trying to
that
do that,
Donald
Nate.
Trump bears sole responsibility for the time it took to deploy the National Guard. However, the National Guard is under the Army and the Air Force, both of which report directly to the president, not the Speaker of the House. The Speaker does have authority over Capitol Police, though. In an interview with WJLA just days after January 6th, the Capitol Police chief, who stepped down after Pelosi called for his resignation, stood by his claims that superiors in Congress and the Pentagon rebuffed his requests for National Guard help both before and during the riot.
Quote, I don't like the optics of the National Guard standing in line with the Capitol in the background. I was perplexed. I felt like, am I really hearing what I think I'm hearing?
Meanwhile, Donald Trump is calling for the members of the January 6th Select Committee to be indicted, Trump alleging they deliberately withheld information. So far, though, there's no strong evidence to back up the former president's claims.
How quickly we forget. How quickly we forget. You're on mute. Hard mute. Yeah, we forget that what we say. And the internet never forgets. The internet is like an elephant. It never forgets.
That's right. So yeah, I do recall her saying that in that documentary, HBO. I do recall that car video.
Mhm.
But good job on that. Good memory. Good job, co-host. We love to see it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, let's see what Miss I Got Kids in Africa Missing gotta say, aka Oprah. Okay. She over here trying to buy land for the Lolo in Hawaii, but get time to come up here in a purple suit.
In a purple suit.
Oh,
We
y'all
told
gotta-
y'all day one. If you didn't listen to our day one, we did that live. Go back and listen. Lurk called out, how many do you think are going to be in purple suits, and how biblical purple suits are. Whether you believe or practice the faith or not, other people do, whether it be for good or for bad. And I will shut up and let Miss Oprah tell you what she has to say for her endorsement for Kamala.
You know, I feel like they should have done Bill and Oprah yesterday and had Obama's today, but who am I?
It wasn't the right day. You had to have the full moon.
Oh, come on, Godmomma, come on.
You had to have that portal. You had to have it.
Oh, I love it. Put your tinfoils hats on, y'all. I love it. Oh my God. Okay, Oprah, come on. Come on with your wig and your Ozempic, girl. Look like you need to get back on it, but who am I? Oh no, she look good. Okay, Oprah.
Good evening, everybody. Who says you can't go home again? After watching the Obamas last night, that was some epic fire, wasn't it? Some epic fire. We're now so fired up, we can't wait to leave here and do something. And what we're going to do is elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. I am so honored to have been asked to speak on tonight's theme about what matters most to me, to you, and all of us Americans: freedom. There are people who want you to see our country as a nation of us against them, people who want to scare you, who want to rule you, people who have you believe that books are dangerous and assault rifles are safe, that there's a right way to worship and a wrong way to love. People who seek first to divide and then to conquer. But here's the thing. When we stand together, it is impossible to conquer us. In the words of an extraordinary American, the late Congressman John Lewis, he said, no matter what ship our ancestors arrived on, we are all in the same boat now. Congressman Lewis knew very well how far this country has come because he was one of the brilliant Americans who helped to get us where we are. But he also knew that the work is not done. The work will never be done because freedom isn't free. America is an ongoing project. It requires commitment. It requires being open to the hard work and the heart work of democracy. And every now and then, it requires standing up to life's bullies. I know this. I've lived in Mississippi, in Tennessee, in Wisconsin, Maryland, Indiana, Florida, Hawaii, Colorado, California, and sweet home Chicago, Illinois. I have actually traveled this country from the redwood forest, love those redwoods, to the Gulf Stream waters. I've seen racism and sexism and income inequality and division. I've not only seen it, at times I've been on the receiving end of it. But more often than not, what I've witnessed and experienced are human beings, both conservative and liberal, who may not agree with each other, but who'd still help you in a heartbeat if you were in trouble. These are the people who make me proud to say that I am an American. They are the best of America. And despite what some would have you think, we are not so different from our neighbors. When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion. We don't wonder who their partner is or how they voted. No, we just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady, well, we try to get that cat out too. Because we are a country of people who work hard for the money. We wish our brothers and sisters well, and we pray for peace. We know all the old tricks and tropes that are designed to distract us from what actually matters, but we are beyond ridiculous tweets and lies and foolery. These are complicated times, people, and they require adult conversation. And I welcome those conversations because civilized debate is vital to democracy, and it is the best of America. Now, over the last couple of nights, we have all seen brave people walk onto the stage and share their most private pain. Amanda and Josh, Caitlin, Hadley, they told us their stories of rape and incest and near-death experiences from having the state deny them the abortion that their doctor explained was medically necessary. And they've told us these things for one reason, and that is to keep what happened to them from happening to anybody else. Because if you do not have autonomy over this, if you cannot control when and how you choose to bring your children into this world and how they are raised and supported, there is no American dream. The women and men who are battling to keep us from going back to a time of desperation and shame and stone cold fear, they are the new freedom fighters. And make no mistake, they are the best of America. I want to talk now about somebody who's not with us tonight. Tessie Prevost Williams was born in New Orleans not long after the Supreme Court ruled that segregated public schools were unconstitutional. That was in 1954, same year I was born. But I didn't have to head to first grade at the all-white McDonough 19 school with a U.S. Marshal by my side like Tessie did. And when I got to school, the building wasn't empty like it was for Tessie. You see, rather than allowing McDonough to be integrated, parents pulled their kids out of the school, leaving only Tessie and two other little black girls, Gail Etienne and Leona Tate, to sit in a classroom with the windows papered over to block snipers from attacking their 6-year-old bodies. Tessie passed away 6 weeks ago. And I tell this story to honor her tonight because she like Ruby Bridges and her friends, Leona and Gail, the New Orleans Four they were called. They broke barriers and they paid dearly for it. But it was the grace and guts and courage of women like Tessie Prevost Williams that paved the way for another young girl who 9 years later became part of the second class to integrate the public schools in Berkeley, California. And it seems to me that at school and at home, somebody did a beautiful job of showing this young girl how to challenge the people at the top and empower the people at the bottom. They showed her how to look at the world and see not just what is, but what can be. They instilled in her a passion for justice and freedom and the glorious fighting spirit necessary to pursue that passion. And soon, and very soon, we're going to be teaching our daughters and sons about how this child of an Indian mother and a Jamaican father, two idealistic, energetic immigrants, how this child grew up to become the 47th president of the United States. That is the best of America. Mm-hmm. You know, let me tell you this. This election isn't about us and them. It's about you and me and what we want our futures to look like. There are choices to be made when we cast our ballot. Now, there's a certain candidate that says if we just go to the polls this one time, that we'll never have to do it again. Well, you know what? You're looking at a registered independent who's proud to vote again and again and again because I'm an American and that's what Americans do. Voting is the best of America. And I have always, since I was eligible to vote, I've always voted my values. And that is what is needed in this election now more than ever. So I'm calling on all you independents and all you undecideds. You know this is true. You know I'm telling you the truth, that values and character matter most of all.
She ain't lying.
In leadership and in life. And more than anything, you know this is true, that decency and respect are on the ballot in 2024.
I don't know about that.
And just plain common sense. Common sense tells you that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz can give us decency and respect. They're the ones who give it to us. So, we are Americans. We are Americans. Let us choose loyalty to the Constitution over loyalty to any individual. Because that's the best of America. And let us choose optimism over cynicism, because that's the best of America. And let us choose inclusion over retribution. Let us choose common sense over nonsense. Because that's the best of America. And let us choose the sweet promise of tomorrow over the bitter return to yesterday. We won't go back. We won't be set back. push back, bullied back, kick back. We're not going back. Not going back. We're not going back. So let us choose. Let us choose truth. Let us choose honor. And let us choose joy. Because that's the best of America. But more than anything else, let us choose freedom. Why? Because that's the best of America. We're all Americans. And together, let's all choose Kamala Harris. Thank you, Chicago. Thank you.
Yeah. And Oprah's got a lot of pull, right? She's a
She's the
billionaire.
Nancy Pelosi of the regular degulars, I guess. I don't know.
hmm But what's interesting is how she sat there and bragged about living in all of those different states. Not because she's an army brat, but because she's a rich ass billionaire
Mm-hmm.
and can own homes in all of these different places. But she wants the average person to think that she's just like them. Are we still keeping tabs of how much people's suits and outfits are? Because I know
Yes, they
Oprah's
are.
was.
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. We did that the first night, but yes. And y'all, there is a Twitter account that is keeping up with the DNC. I'll go grab it and drop the link. They're keeping up with tabs of how much a lot of this stuff is costing. Okay, including the extra, not the Secret Service, but the actual Chicago Police Department, how much they're getting paid as well. So yes, per day. We'll keep up with that because y'all not one. Well, I will give credit where credit's due. The Michelle Obama, I think hers came from not. I was about to say Temu. It wasn't no damn Shein or Temu, but it was something regular. It was like not Marshalls. So it was like not even a $600 outfit. What's her name had, but that's always been Michelle's swag. She's always been a Ross type shopper. So, or Old Navy, or she be putting some stuff together cute. Nordstrom's or something. That's what Neiman Marcus I wanted to say, but I think it's Nordstrom's. But either way, it was less than $600. She was one of the cheapest that got listed, so that wasn't shocking. Let me give credit where credit's due. However, I take offense when these billionaires are up here telling us how they can make our life so much better if we just follow suit.
But in the same breath, tell us that the other person, which would be Trump, is doing the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, Neiman's is high. I was trying to think of what the retail shop was. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah. How does Hawaii feel about Oprah up here talking about this? Because I get tired of people forgetting about Hawaii. They get done so dusty, but they're one of the biggest tourist attractions. We all love to go there and have us be happy. Who was saying that? That was Bill. As long as we're happy. I don't think Hawaii's too happy right now.
Right.
With their $700 little check that they getting for everything. And these are islands. Y'all, I know I'm preaching to the choir. Y'all know Hawaii is a tiny place. Beautiful, tropical, wonderful. Hell, they were independent from us for how long? I mean, Hawaii wasn't going. They weren't. And we went in and did them wrong, killed their queen and backstabbed them like nobody's business. And now we got billionaires wanting to, cupcake all through their island. I don't think Hawaii's going with you. Sorry, not sorry. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, Oprah appeases a certain type of person, and I think they hit it out of the park with Oprah. Again, I think it's what I was sitting here thinking, listening to her, was they gave her a larger time slot than they did some actual Congress, House representative people who really make change inside of this democracy. Got maybe 20-30 minutes. Oprah was up there for like an hour. We had it sped up.
Yeah.
But they gave her a huge time slot. And she didn't talk about policy. She made it very personable. She made
Again,
she
bringing up our abortion. That's their go-to when talking about women's reproductive rights. Abortion, abortion, abortion. We got a lot of other things going on with our bodies besides
and
abortions, y'all.
I want to know, when did Oprah experience this racism? I want to know when and what it was. I want, and I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm just saying, if you're going to throw that out there, then you need to expound on that experience that you're proclaiming as a part of why you want to endorse Kamala.
Yeah, she's kind of shared some of her history before, as far well that I recall, because I used to be an Oprah show watcher habitually. But she did explain when she went from radio to television. You know, they told her, "Well, you got the face for radio, and you're an ugly black woman," and So I think during that was her experience when she went from leaving radio to talking on being an anchor. So, and
Which is
how she had to
understandable.
fight against. And I wish she would have talked about that as well. Her climb up the chain as far as equal pay goes. I mean, she could have, if she was going to get so personal, she could have really dug deep.
Right.
But it seems like those days are long behind her, I guess, Godmomma.
Because I don't understand what the point of bringing up segregated schools was. I don't understand that point yet.
Yeah, she could have laid that. She could have ran that home. I was impressed. I said, "Oh, LaTanya would be happy to hear about this." Because
Right.
LaTanya was just talking about those girls.
And it's just like, it's like clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. You're not really giving me anything. It's just trigger words almost to me. People were in the crowd crying, and I'm like, why are we crying? She's not even really giving a testimony. She's not really giving you hope. She's giving you the fear of living as a black person in America. And at some point, that fear has to turn into anger, or, as Barack Obama said, do something. But do something is not voting. That's the only issue that I have.
They big on January 6th, people who got up and did something. Which one is it?
Right. That's what I'm saying. And then they, the rioters back in segregation days, the people, who tested the system, who went against the system, they aren't looked at as heroes.
That's right.
They're
the
not.
whistleblowers. Come on now. I love me some Edward Snowden. Don't do it.
The people
Okay.
who drank at the white only water fountains, they weren't considered heroes. They may be to us as a community today because it symbolizes fuck the system. But that's the problem that I have, is a Democrat or a mainstream black person wants to come in my face and remind me of all the nasty things that America has done without actively giving me a solution on how they are going to repay that debt and move forward differently. Just because you told us we could go to school together and we can eat together doesn't mean that other things change. So if we're going to throw that emotional trigger out there for people, at least give them a solution, not a soapbox to stand on.
Their solution is don't vote for Trump, because he's the reason for all these things being. Child, they playing with us. They are playing with us. All right, y'all want to go see this little montage they put together against Trump? Let's watch it, family, and then we'll get back to some commentary. There's a white way to live.
And that's what she said. It's a white way to live. I was like, a white? A what?
Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh. All right, let's see what the montage. Let's see. Here we go.
You want to go outside today? Yeah. You want to put your shoes on? Yes. Let's go outside. Ruby is 2 years old.
Actually, I'm going to play this at regular speed. Okay, let's go.
To think, will she be an iron worker like her dad? I hate to break it to you, but I'm not a billionaire. Donald Trump talked a big game about bringing jobs back to America, but it was all talk. Like Foxconn.
This is the 8th wonder of the world. Foxconn, by most estimates, has not even come close to meeting expectations.
This whole project was a scam. He is not looking out for the residents. He's looking out for himself.
You know what Trump delivered? $2 trillion in tax cuts focused on his billionaire buddies and big corporations.
You're rich as hell.
It makes me angry. Billionaires don't pay their share of the load. And he wants to do that again. Trump talked a massive game about infrastructure. What a joke.
We call it Infrastructure Week. Infrastructure is the easiest of all. We're going to get this infrastructure going.
Trump was too incompetent to get it done. Who's he looking out for? Not us, not my family. You know who got it done? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Biggest infrastructure package in history. Infrastructure is just a fancy word for jobs. Not just union workers, but for everyone. Small businesses are booming. Communities are starting to thrive again. I wish it was faster. The prices are easing. Kamala Harris helped deliver the largest job growth in American history. Wages are higher. Manufacturing is booming. We're building roads, bridges, airports again. That's a fact. And we have healthcare.
When our middle class is strong, America is strong.
Kamala's goal is to rebuild the middle class for families like mine.
Oh, my bad.
And see that
I thought this was the my bad. Go ahead, Godmomma. I thought this was the damn January 6th one. I thought they put up
No, but see, and then they came out saying, you know, that 818,000 jobs were miscounted, meaning that they tried to say we had more jobs than what we have. There are countless of videos out where people said, you know, I've applied for 1,500 jobs and only one job has called me back. You know, so to me, this is like smoke and mirrors, because the average citizen who's out here working every day knows that, oh, buddy probably got a good little penny for that video, and good for him. He should. But to say that we've had the most jobs, I don't see that.
And I know people, this has been, honestly, I've had friends out here looking, and you're right. It's been a struggle for them. Friends, family members. It's been a struggle for them. So I'm confused. And they've even been caught, some employers, which also needs to be investigated. Some employers will post job postings with no intention of hiring.
Absolutely.
So that's just to keep it up with their data, and this is how many people we're bringing in, and this, yeah. So personally, I don't know 5 million people, but I know a few, and the ones that were looking for jobs had a hard time getting them. So yeah, y'all not gonna, like you said, blow smoke, child. Ain't gonna do it.
No. And I remember Trump, in his infrastructure, I remember roads being done, but I'm not well versed in that, so I can't get too deep off into that. But as far as infrastructure goes now, I don't see anything new being built. I don't know. Like, this is confusing to me, because we had a bridge that got ran over. I don't think that's
Where
been
was that? That was
rebuilt.
the Boston Bridge. What bridge was that?
Boston or Baltimore, one of those.
Baltimore Bridge. That's what it was. Baltimore Bridge.
Yes, they did. Absolutely. We've a lot of the grants that were coming out went to AAPs. Yes. Because there, for a minute, there was a huge Pacific Islander Asian American movement to be basically considered as a ethnicity of people over here that migrated.
Right.
And they
And they
wanted rights and which, you know, that's America, right? We are a melting pot of random people.
Mhm.
So I had no issue with that. What I have issues with is when we don't give the same um, breaks or exemptions to natural born citizens.
Right. That drives me.
Mhm.
And then the nerve to say, well, you're lazy. You're a lazy, spoiled American. Yeah, we have some of those, but we also have some lazy, spoiled fucking immigrants as well, y'all. Like,
Absolutely.
come on. We got
What you
that
got back
Venezuelan guy that went viral. Remember, he recruiting all his people to come over.
Mhm.
Recruiting them all. And this, y'all, this right here is the debunking of Keenan Thomas or Thompson. I'm sorry, Keenan Thompson. When he was speaking on the Project 2025. So the claim was on page 584. Project 2025 calls for the elimination of protections for LGBTQ plus Americans. Get the facts. The document does not contain any explicit call for elimination of protections of the LGBTQ plus Americans on page 584. The page is a part of the selection or the section dealing with the Department of Labor related to agencies focusing on labor policies and reforms. The document does call for rolling back existing protections for the LGBTQ plus. And on page 475, it specifically calls for rescinding current regulations that interpret sex discrimination to include sexual orientation and gender identity. Okay? So they're just saying the sex discrimination they're saying, oh, well, let me carry on. It'll tell us for us. And for refocusing enforcement on the biological binary meaning of sex. Okay? So basically, they just want to get back to sex discrimination against male and females, which is something Barack brought up yesterday, is the equal pay issue.
Mhm.
So that can stay protected. But you coming in saying, I didn't get the job or you're treating me some kind of way because my gender identity. They want to take that away.
Right.
And in maybe some areas it should be, y'all. And I'm talking from my own personal opinions. I don't know how I'd feel about the PE teacher wanting to be in the girls' locker room when they themselves weren't born with those parts. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Picking up what I'm throwing down. I think in certain areas, yeah, we could be a little stiff. Right? That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay. All right. The claim from Keenan on page 465, Project 2025 calls for millions of people like yourself to pay more for prescription drugs like insulin. Again, if you were with us with the book club, y'all already know the facts. Okay. But actually, the fact is, page 465 of the document is part of the section on Department of Health and Human Services. The document discusses various health policy reforms, including changes to regulatory environment for pharmaceuticals. Okay? But there is no direct statement that calls for increasing the cost of insulin or other prescription drugs. The claim appears to be speculative interpretation rather than a factual statement. So, and again, we broke that down on the book club as far as what they want to do. They don't want to raise the cost. They want to take over the pharmaceutical companies, basically.
Right.
Okay. Which would in turn lower some cost. Okay. The next claim on page 459, Project 2025 resurrects a law from the 1800s called the Comstock Act to ban abortion nationwide. Get the facts. Page 459 is indeed part of the section of the Department of Health, Human Services discussing policies around healthcare. The document references historical laws, including the Comstock Act, in the context of restricting abortion and related services. However, it does not explicitly state that the Comstock Act will be resurrected to ban abortions nationwide, but suggests a more stringent regulatory approach. Now, y'all know I've got issues with Project 2025, okay? Because why are y'all more wanting to put regulatory approaches on women's reproductive, using that term loosely? Why are y'all ready to regulate that, but not the EPA?
Right.
Make it make sense. All right, y'all. There's one more misleading fact. Claim on page 78, Project 2025 calls for President Trump to purge the civil service of everyone who isn't a MAGA loyalist. Page 78 discusses the centralization and reform of federal personnel, emphasizing the need to align the federal workforce with the administrator's goal. The document advocates for making it easier to remove federal employees who are not aligned with the administration's agenda, which could be interpreted as favoring loyalists. However, the language does not explicitly call for purging on non-MAGA loyalists. But it kind of does.
But it kind of does.
But it kind of does. Okay? Yes. Hey, y'all. Hey, Auntie. And I see Queen Sisters in here. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for coming in here. Lurker, for argument, a female but lesbian. Listen, I grew up. I had a lesbian PE coach. Miss Jensen was her name. And she was a cat lady. She taught her cats how to swim in the pool. But she was so uncomfortable, bro. It was so uncomfortable. None of us wanted to change. And she wouldn't let us change in the bathrooms, because then it would take too long. You guys all change right there by your lockers. And her office was set up like right there with glass. So it was, and she'd kick her feet up, have her little fanny pack on the listen, I'm sorry. It was very uncomfortable. Yes. So anyways, what
She wouldn't let y'all change outside. I have an echo.
Yeah, she wouldn't let us change. I didn't hear an echo, babe. Yeah, she wouldn't let us change in the bathroom where you could close the stall doors. We had to change by our lockers, which was open. And she said her reason for doing that was because it would take too much time waiting for girls to change in and out the bathroom. So everybody just changed right here. All the girls, everybody. And I was so uncomfortable with Miss Jensen, bro. I to this day, traumatized by this woman just watching it. And you know what I'm saying? We're little 6th, 7th, 8th graders, bro. This wasn't even high school. This was middle school. And this memory has stuck with me for life. Let us change in the bathroom. We're young girls. We don't want to be out in the open. So, yeah, I whatever.
That was interesting, though. That's why we keep reiterating to you guys to please do fact checking on your own. Do not take things as gospel. Please fact check. Because I guarantee you, none of those people who watch the DNC or listen to the DNC fact checked whether Keenan was on point or off. Because literally they can get up there and tell you whatever they want to tell you, and most people are going to believe them. Why? Because they're celebrities. Did you happen to notice how celebrities got more of an audience applause than actual leaders?
Standing politicians, right?
Yes.
Standing Congress members. Y'all had Cory Booker up there, and I've always wanted to say Saturday Night Live. What? Come on, Cory Booker. I know you got something else than that.
Right.
And his speech wasn't long. I know we didn't play it, but it wasn't long. So.
No.
Yeah.
I just don't know. This may be enough for the Democrats to win. I don't know. Because they keep hollering out for the independents, for the unshores, and there's a lot of independents out here. And Oprah's last speech of vote on your morality, on your values, I think that may have hit home for a lot of people who are unsure. And then to further drive it home with Kamala being Asian and
Jamaican
descent, both being of immigration to this country and what that makes this country look like to others. I think a lot of people just on the strength of that alone want her to be a president. They don't care about her policies. They don't care about nothing else. Just the strength that she's a multicultural woman that is also an immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough for a lot of people.
And we push this though, right? That's why. What happened to the TikTok ban? Because I think Kamala went and made her a TikTok account. Last I heard, y'all was trying to ban that. Now y'all utilizing it. Y'all quit playing in my face.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things I talk to my daughter about. My son's a little busy, so we haven't really had any political talks. But I just like any agenda for my kids at all, besides love. But just so they could see it for themselves, because my kids are quick to call me out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let me contradict myself. My daughter's the first one to be like, "But you said yesterday."
Right.
So I need my child to keep that same energy when these politicians are trying to TikTok their way through the life. Nah. Remember what she said yesterday, child. Okay? Right. So just be aware. That's all we're pushing over here, y'all. And you know how we get down. Y'all know how we get down. We want to just take note of what's being. Dissect your food. You know how if you're a picky eater and you go out to a fast food restaurant, some people will open their burger to make sure it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing we're trying to do over here with these policies that both sides are throwing out.
Mm-hmm. Because there are things in 2025 that are alarming.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes,
understand
Mama.
the caution. But I also don't think that just because Project 2025 is alarming that I should have to vote for a Democrat, because there are things that Democrats stand on big business about that do not reflect my morals, my values. And it works on both sides. And I think, and we said this, I think, before even really the RNCs or the DNC started. Where are our independent party?
Yes, we have.
Where is our independent candidate? I've seen some videos of her, and I've seen some videos of RFK, but word circulating now is RFK Jr. is now going to join the Trump campaign.
That's what I heard.
Because Trump has offered him a job. Now, these are just, leaves in the wind at this point. But
because at first he was going to endorse Kamala. After Biden dropped out, RFK was thinking about endorsing Kamala. But now Trump's jumped in and he's like, I'm debating bringing him on his cabinet, on my cabinet.
Wanting to make him the leader of the CIA tactical force or some shit like that. So it's getting interesting in the sense of, are we going to get down to policies now that we've slung mud, now that we've
had our parties,
right, had our big parties, and now that we've nominated our candidates, are we going to get down to business? Are we going to address these foreign aid policies? Are we going to address the wars that we are actively participating in? Are we going to address our grocery prices, our economic crisis that we're in? That the Democrats just stood up there in our face, trying to make it seem like everyone goes home and they're happy. No, they're not. Are they grateful? Yes, but they're not happy. Who is a show of hands in the crowd? Who is happy when they go swipe they card at the grocery store? Who's happy? Who's happy when they go pay their electric bill, light bill? Who's happy? Their rent? Who's happy?
Don't get me started on my water bill this year.
Okay. No one is happy. So to sit here and say, oh, we're pretty fired up, we're going to go home and we're going to be happy. No, they happy and they fired up right now. But as soon as they leave and they go swipe that card at that gas station because they got to get home and see the gas is $4, almost $5 a gallon, they're not going to be happy. And you and Kamala and everybody sitting here saying, well, if we get her into office, this is going to change. We've said this for an hour and 30 minutes now. Y'all have had 12 years.
And it's all Trump's fault.
Right, JJ. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's all Donald Trump's fault, everything. And I'm not saying the man he didn't have his faults. No, but you can't tell me that everything is his fault when he was in office for 4 years.
And then Bill said something, I caught a little contradiction where he's talking about his party. Oh, we're not perfect. We're humans. We make mistakes. But then turn around and solely gave a bunch of blame to Trump.
Right.
I mean, and I know Trump went in and I know he switched around some people in the SCOTUS, right? I know he was trying to stack the House. But that's what, when Bill was saying, every 4 years we should switch it up. Well, that's what Trump was trying to do. And now y'all are just saying how horrible that was.
Right.
No, we've got to. Nobody's perfect, but we've got to switch some shit up. And we can't just switch it up for you Democrats. We got to switch it up for the independents. We got to switch it up for the Republicans. We got to switch it up.
For the undecideds.
That's right. And the undecideds, like Nikki's saying, I don't want a president just to represent me, just the NAB. Like, what?
Right.
But there's so many different people, melting pot. We've got to switch it up. And I feel, this is my personal belief on how we should switch it up. I think we should have, if there's a Republican sitting president, we need a Democratic sitting vice president. I know that sounds weird to some people. And I think we need to have an independent House Speaker. I think all three branches should be represented on the presidential level. That's just my opinion.
My opinion is we throw away it all. We throw away Republican, we throw away Democratic. Throw away it all. You can still have a democracy. You can still have a government without having two wings. It would then have to now focus on the people. People can't get divided. The Democrats in the DNC Day 3 sat up there and talked about all Trump wanted to do was cause division. I would post the argument that from day one, when y'all started Democrat versus Republic, you then started the division. This was going on way before anybody knew about a Trump. This division that they speak of.
Oh yeah, because we had Bush, and there was a Reaganomics, right? It's always
we've always had this division of Democratic Republican. So in order to tell me to let go of it, you're going to have to erase it.
Yeah,
you're going to have to make everyone an independent party. And I think it was Candace Owens on her podcast last night addressing the Tate brothers situation. She was saying how, she wished that they would make it to where running presidents or campaigning presidents could not accept money. People couldn't lobby for them. They kind of had to just do it on their own. And I feel like I would stand behind that with her, because I feel like that's a lot of our issues is our politicians become corrupt because people are able to lobby and slide them checks and, give them favors.
That's what that Theo Vaughn guy was saying. I posted that on the NAB community wall yesterday. Theo Vaughn and President Trump sat down together, and it was a hoot. I didn't expect anything serious from it. However, Theo Vaughn was bringing that up. He said, okay, well, how do we stop it? And Trump's like, well, he's stumbling over his words. And Theo Vaughn's like, no, I'm serious. Like, do we just should that be made illegal?
Right.
Should lobbying be made illegal? And it absolutely fucking should.
Absolutely should.
That is not democracy. And Theo Vaughn also did an interview with Bernie Sanders as well, and that was a hoot as well. It was very shocking to hear, because Theo Vaughn's you know what I mean, he's a mess. But his conversation, he was asking some poignant questions, and I said, okay, Theo Vaughn, okay, baby, I hear you. And these politicians couldn't give an average human, an average civilian is what I'd consider Theo Vaughn, just an average regular guy. They couldn't even give him a simple answer. Bernie Sanders let him know, though. Look, at this obligatory bullshit's got to go. Okay? And that's why I don't rock with 2025, because I don't need loyalists to me.
Right.
I need loyalists to the cause. That means we should have disagreements, because we are so passionate about making change. Right?
Yeah. Passionate about the cause of liberty and justice for all.
Yep.
Not some, all.
Yes. That's for for all, y'all. We're over here trying to take over territories we ain't got no business taking over. Okay? Keep that in mind as well. Next thing you know, Israel will be the next Puerto Rico. Let me stop. Let me stop. Y'all ain't ready for that. So y'all go do some homework. Y'all go do some research. There might be some stuff popping off for DNC tomorrow. Not sure, just because of scheduling, how that'll pan out for us to play it back for y'all. Okay. So, and I think we got something else up our sleeve for this weekend, but we'll keep y'all posted when that gets closer too.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain is over here just
You're fine.
scrambled, because I'm like, what?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's the Hunger Games. It's a lot.
Districts.
Yes. And I really pray that the American people, like Ms. Oprah said, if you do go to the polls, please go with some common sense. Please go with some informed decisions. Okay. Do not go to that poll and go in and make a blind vote. Whatever, it's your choice. But just please be informed. That's all we're trying to do on this channel, is give the information on both sides of what they're bringing to the table for us as citizens in this great country. Amen. Okay.
Amen.
So right now, the Democrats didn't give me enough. They didn't give me enough. Maybe they gave you guys enough. Replay game. Maybe they gave you enough. We did not show Tim Walz. He did come to the stage and make a speech. If you want to go watch that, you feel free to.
Oh, my apologies. I was done after
Fine.
Oprah. I am so sorry.
No, you're
I'm sorry.
good.
Why you not gonna tell me? Oh, okay, my
No,
bad.
you're good. Go watch Tim Walz. We do have a live that was scheduled on the 16th of this month for the VPs. We didn't get to it then, but we will get to it. So just hit that notification bell. So when we do end up going live, it'll go ahead and notify you anyways. Because what we're trying to do is get some information on both sides, on both the policies of Walz and the policies of Vance. What they did as acting governors before their VP nomination, just so, because we hear them a lot, we hear their names a lot, just so you guys kind of have an informed decision on who these people are and what they will bring to America. Because even though the VP doesn't seem like they do anything, they are what is considered like the silent president. They do things in silence.
This right here is the link to the DNC if you guys want to go check that out.
Let's see. We probably will be on Auntie's. I don't know if he's doing it on the Boiler Room or Home of Official UT Purge, but he has invited the concerned citizens over for a political chit chat conversation, um, to kind of, see how we're feeling and toss some ideas up. But we'll let you guys know more when I know more of what channel we'll be on, so I can circulate that for you guys.
Yeah, we got to go support the homie. Auntie, he's blessed
Absolutely.
us several times. So,
We're
you know,
traveling, y'all. We're
yeah,
traveling.
we're traveling. Pack up, citizen. Come on. Y'all are used to it. Get on.
Uh-huh.
I am 2504. I am so geeked about this. Not only because Godmomma and I have done our homework extensively on the VPs. And so when we kind of have those shows, I get excited about it just so we can lay it out for y'all. I am excited, and I'm excited for them to debate. And like Godmomma was saying, these are former governors, former House Senate people. So they're not new at all.
Right.
And we're going to get into them. Mr. Ohio meets Mr. Minnesota, or what?
Mhm.
Yeah. Mr. Ohio versus Minnesota. Ooh wee. Okay, so I am so excited about the VT debate, and I've kept a lot of things quiet because they ain't really talked about policies. If they would have, I would have been up here knocking some heads. Yeah. Okay, y'all. Yeah, we going on tour, Nikki. So y'all pack up. Put your good Sundays on. Okay, don't
Right.
come over there embarrassing us. Don't do it.
Please don't.
You like
Okay.
Tim Walz. I cannot wait for this VP debate with you, Nikki. Or not debate, but conversation with you. Because it brings up the COVID and the Black Lives Matter protest, right? That all took place over there. He's also the home of trans refugees. Oh, baby. And Mr. Ohio, you're not safe either, sir. But Waltz, you've got a little bit more, you have a few more notches on your belt than Vance does. So, I got to keep it a buck. Interesting. Is this happening today? I'm off work? No, I wish, but no, not today. I don't know, Godmomma. When will we pull that out? What did you say? Will we pull that out tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It's I don't know. I feel like it's coming though. I feel like
Yeah.
it's about time. Just because after today they're going to wrap up the DNC. Kamala and Mr. Walz are going to accept their nomination. And Trump and Vance have already accepted their nomination.
Yeah.
So I think after we get these acceptance speeches, and we'll be ready. We will definitely be ready.
Okay, so if tomorrow's tomorrow I got 11 to 4, so okay. All right, we'll just see, y'all. It's coming though. It's coming.
It might be it. If you want us to be honest with you, it's probably going to be next week. Just gonna be honest with y'all. Okay, let me be honest. We're moving in honesty. Okay.
Yeah, let's.
And we got a show to. We're on tour Sunday, so
yeah.
And we did. And let's just take a moment and congratulate and pat ourselves on the back, because we have been going strong every day.
Yeah, we have.
And that's something big for us. So
it is giving y'all quality time. You have days off next week too. Okay, then that's what we'll do. Let's just keep it a buck and push it for next week so we can finish out correctly with the DNC and not rush anything. And that way we can also have downtime before we go link up with the homie. Because downtime is permanent. You know what I need it.
Absolutely.
And I also like to go back through the information. Godmomma's put me on to, the portals weren't right for the Obama. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to dig deeper, y'all. And just because I like to wear tinfoil hats. I'm all about it, bitch. I'm into gematria. I'm into the Astros. I'm into everything. Okay. As above, so below, and everything in between. Period.
Yes.
Okay. All right, y'all. Let's get out of here. We don't get y'all quite enough time today. Thank y'all for rocking with us.
We appreciate it. Shout out to the replay gang.
We see y'all.
We'll see y'all Sunday for sure.
Sunday for sure. All right. Peace.
Toodles.
Peace.
My release. This is a part of what I do to have fun, and I'm a creative. Creativity, I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's what keeps life interesting and makes it have fun. Makes me have fun.